There is nothing like a woman who treats being married like it's a frivolous detail that she just forgot to mention.
I love it when a girl has a husband or a boyfriend, but she's so low-key about it. You've never seen that man. You've never heard from that man. You don't know that man exists. Because tell me why this girl I follow, one day she was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. My husband? Husband?
I love the type of girl who got a man, but at the same time, it's so cool to the point where her having a man is the least interesting thing about her.
No shade, but I've started unfollowing women that make their marriage their whole personality once they get married. Like, girl.
You know it has gotten serious when women are choosing to be friends with women who are not obsessed with their relationship, because apparently it is hard to see women these days who have their personality intact even while being in a relationship.
I feel like it's time we just address it. Clearly a lot of married women are just super male-centered, because what do you mean you're cutting off your single friends because you're married and they're not?
These women are so rare that they are now the new cool girls that every woman wants to hang out with, especially the single women, because they cannot for the life of them afford to hang out with a married woman who has nothing to talk about except her man, her husband.
No shade, but I've started unfollowing women that make their marriage their whole personality once they get married. Like, girl, what happened to the painting videos you used to make? The creative passions you used to post about? Like,
we're going to try to understand where this started from, how we got to this point, why women friendships are becoming this fickle. Also, what life is for women on the other end, that's women who have lost friends because all they seem to be able to talk about is their relationship and their partners. Hey guys, Natima here. Welcome back to the channel. Do well to like and subscribe if you're not. It's no pressure though, but I'd really like you to. So do that and let's get back into the video. Yeah. Oh, I'm waiting. Just 5 seconds. You can just click on that. Anyway, I've made a similar video to this particular one I'm making today, but it just begs to talk about again because like it has really gotten that serious. I have been seeing it again and again and again, how much women are changing their personality to revolve around their partners, and it has gotten to the point where even the men are tired of women making their entire personality about them. So picture this, right? You've been friends with a very good friend of yours, marriage comes into the picture and you become an afterthought to her. It's almost like the friendship just ends. I would want to say it's put on a standstill, but that's as good as a friendship ending. I mean, what do we call that? I don't know. Now, it's understandable that with marriage and like romantic relationships, things can get a little different in a female friendship. Obviously, you now have sort of like a divided attention. You're keeping in touch with your friend and as well trying to nurture this new relationship. But the problem is that it gets to a point where this relationship becomes all that matters. It's like all of those beautiful things is nothing compared to a romantic relationship. Quite frankly, it is hard for me to understand how easily it is for a woman to just let go of friends that she has made a connection with for the majority of her life, for somebody that she just met a couple months ago. I mean, obviously the feelings in both relationships are completely different, but it is so hard for me to fathom. I gotta be honest, because we can't entirely blame them when this thing is not like something that just started. It's been going on for a long time. It's the fact that women have been brought up for so long to see marriage as the ultimate goal. Technically, in the 50s, it was the system that ran the economy. Gender roles dictated for a woman, she gets married, have kids, raise those said kids. At that point, a woman who gets married has basically achieved what she set out to achieve in life, and she's fulfilled or is meant to be fulfilled. And now that I think about it, I just remember so many times when my grandmother was just so concerned about her granddaughters getting married. She wasn't really bothered about us going to school. It wasn't really her cup of tea, but every time you were around her, every time you talk to her, she'd be like, has anyone approached you, or is anybody talking to you about marriage? That was basically her concern. And that is because for a long time it has been that way. That was what her grandmother heard from her mother. Her mother said to her, and she said to her daughters, and apparently was also saying to her grandchildren. So years and years and years, women have constantly been pushed this idea of marriage being the ultimate goal. So naturally, it became a thing that women poured their focus into, even with a lot of the advancement that has gone on in our present age.
The goal is to become a wife. I don't want to be nobody else's baby mama. I don't want to be nobody else's girlfriend. I've been a girlfriend a couple times. I want to be somebody's wife, and I want a man I want a man, if you know what I mean.
To be very honest, it is not a bad thing that a woman grows up and spends her life with a man. I mean, it's beautiful. I think the flaw in it is how much it is being pushed and how much a woman's worth have sort of been tied around having a partner and getting married. That has now made it become, for some women, their sole purpose in life. So much so that they are now, in our time, referred to as male-centered.
Male-centered girls are the ones that will like ditch you on important events or during rough times simply to maybe go on a trip or go hang out with a guy that they've never met before because they are that desperate to get a boyfriend or to get married, whatever. Those are girls that the second that they get married or engaged or get a boyfriend, they will drop you and you will not exist in their life.
However, this friendship breakup between women is happening so easily that it begs the question of if there was a friendship there in the first place. It's like women are now having just acquaintances and not friends because they probably already know that they're not going to keep up with them after they get married.
Male-centered women don't want friends. They just want placeholders to fill the space until the next man comes along. And it's so sad because you will really think that you're building a friendship with somebody. Whole time, they're just using you emotionally. And as soon as that man comes along, disappear.
It's kind of sad to see your friends switch up after marriage because damn, was I just like a placeholder until you found your husband? All I can really think about is like the talks and the dreams that we had. Now all of those are gone.
So what is looking like for most female friendships is that the connection is shallow, the friendship is low effort, and it's why some women would prefer to just chill and hang out once every 3 months without catching up in between, calling, being vulnerable, and sharing their life and their goals with each other. It is sort of making a mockery of female friendship because we all know that friendship is way more than just casual hangouts and girls' nights once every 3 months. And that is why it is so hard for these women to just move on out of this friendship when they get hitched up. Now, even when these women try to keep their acquaintances that they call friends, it's a little hard to maintain the friendship after marriage because it's so much that who you are is who you are and you can't hide that, especially from your girlfriends who are very attentive and intentional. You won't be able to help talking about your relationship or talking about your marriage, your partner essentially, because that has been your goal. So it's why most of this friendship becomes strained, and the other women in this group, especially the single women, most times become uncomfortable with how much a woman shares about her partner or about her relationship.
The older I get, the more I realize how undesirable it is to hang out with women who do not have hobbies. They don't do YouTube, they don't do Bible study, they don't hike. They are just so male-centered. Everything, the entire conversation comes back to their boyfriend, their husband. Everything comes back to a man that they are dating.
It's that they start noticing how much their conversation with these women start shifting from personal growth, goals, and just casual girl talks to somehow always be around their partners and their relationships. It is most especially so loud when it was never really that kind of friendship, especially if one of the women involved in this friendship happens to be somebody who saw the friendship as something that was heading somewhere. We're seeing so much how this character or personality change that comes with some women getting married is making a lot of single women not want to associate with married women at all. They have sort of painted married women in a way that they are people that have nothing else to talk about except their marriage or their partners.
I completely understand people who don't like being friends with girls who are in relationships because it just gets so dreadful, so exhausting being around someone who only wants to talk about their man. They don't want to do anything else or with anyone unless it's with their man. Their whole life just revolves around this man. It's just like, girl.
But it happens that when they do find these very rare married women who still have their individuality, who still have their personality, and who you can make conversation with, and it is not revolved around their partners or their marriage, they are so intrigued and and they really find them cool. These type of women are the real cool girls that they want to hang around and spend time with.
I enjoy so bad when I'm getting to know somebody and we've gone on like multiple friend dates. We've talked food, we've talked music, we've talked interests, hobbies, pets. And one day they just say like my husband, or they say their spouse's name, and you're like, oh, are you in a relationship? They're like, yeah, I'm married. Like, I forgot. I can guarantee you that they are going to be the most interesting, fun, well-rounded, genuine, and like reciprocal friend.
Even the men are now seeing this type of women as the real cool girls as well.
I love the type of girl who got a man, but at the same time, it's so cool to the point where her having a man is the least interesting thing about her. Like, you ever meet that girl, she 10 out of 10 beautiful without even trying, got her own hobbies, her own goals, her own motion going on. You ask her what she been up to, she start talking about life, growth, God, her plans, and not a man insight in the conversation.
Everybody loves a girl who has her personality and her individuality intact, even if she's romantically involved. This type of attitude and behavior with women who get married or women who become romantically involved have sort of made single women raise their bar when it comes to friendship. It's like they have a certain expectation and a certain vibe they want to reach with a woman before they can be friends with her. And a lot of times married women or romantically involved women fall really short on that bar. And it goes the same way for some men as well, because a man would still love to have a conversation with a woman and still feel like this woman is interesting as a person without her bringing up her boyfriend or her husband into the conversation. A lot of single women as well who were in friendships with this type of women don't seem to have the patience to stick with their friends who turn this way after they get married. Sometimes they're the ones actually pushing for the friendship breakup. They don't even have to wait for these friends to get bold enough and actually cut them off. They do it themselves because they just cannot hang out with a woman who has changed her entire personality to become about her man. Now, all of this mixed up is why it would seem that a lot of women who get married become isolated, even to the point that they've started feeling the absence of their girlfriends or their casual friendships. It's almost like when they get married, they step into this loneliness epidemic. And while this is very sad, it is the reality that we are living every single day. And the truth is that no matter how beautiful a romantic relationship is, it can never fill the void of a female friendship. The intimate circle where it's just the girls loving themselves, being vulnerable with each other, sharing how they are growing as a person, cannot simply be replaced with a partner. Some women consciously or unconsciously start trying to turn their romantic partners to their girlfriends because the void of a female friendship is still there regardless.
You want to get Starbucks with me?
No.
You want to go to Target with me?
No.
Let's go to Sephora.
No.
You want to go to the beach?
No. Babe, you need friends.
Sometimes we see some women try to find this female friendship from social media. It's how bad the loneliness has gotten. And a lot of times these friendships that are tried to form through social media are still almost always casual. There are times when like beautiful genuine friendships have bloomed from social media, but it is not as much. And a lot of times, if these women come into the friendship with this same marriage and partner-centered personality, it is still going to end up bad, especially if it is with an intentional single woman. Here's the point that a lot of women are missing, and I think it's important that we come back to and get to understand fully. A romantic relationship or a romantic partner is an addition to a woman's life, not a definition of who she is. You can be a girlfriend and still have every other thing that makes you a person. You can be a wife and not have your entire life centered around your husband. I don't know how else we are going to get a lot of women to understand this. But I am not a married woman, neither am I in a romantic relationship. So I'd love to know how you deal with it if you are in such situation. How do you balance your romantic relationship and your female friendship? Let me know what other thoughts you have on this video in the comments, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.